Hello. So continuing on with the Python tutorial, I want to talk about variables. So variables are essentially just placeholders. So you can have a variable and assign a value to it. Another way to think about it is to think of a bucket. And so every time you create a variable, you're creating a bucket, an empty bucket. And then when you assign a value to it, you're putting that value into that bucket, so that when you want to call that variable name, it will pull that value from its bucket. So think of it like this: if I wanted to keep track of my expenses, and I wanted to work out the total of my expenses, then I could store those individual expenses in variables. So let's say, for example, we have our house bill is equal to £100, and let's say we have our car bill is equal to £200. And then let's say we have a phone bill equal to £20. Now these are all variables, so all buckets. And if I wanted to recall an individual variable and what its value is, I can just type it out and it'll show me. Now let's say I wanted to work out the total. I could add them all up, so house plus car plus phone, and that adds up the variables for me. Now you can also change the value of the variable after it's been defined. For example, if it turns out I have an increased interest rate and my house price has gone up, or the house bill has gone up, I can change that to reflect that, so 120. So if I now type in house, you can see it's reflected there as an increase in price. So you can also take words into variables. So without jumping too technically into what they are, just think of them now as words, but remember every word has to be surrounded with quotes. So Python knows that these are words you want to print out or characters you want to print out. Otherwise it will think it's a variable name. So something like this. If I said thing, I have an error. But if I did quotes thing, you can see it understands that this is a word. So you need to surround it by quotes, and either that or double quotes work as well. Either one works. So cool. So the other thing to bear in mind is how to name your variables. So for example, variable naming is quite particular. You can't start a variable name with a number or a special character, and you can't have a space in the middle of a variable name. It just won't work. So for example, let's say we had house bill. This won't work. If you said house underscore bill equals 10, that does work. Now let's say we want to put all this stuff together. So we want to actually show the person what our costs are. So if we say something like print, so we can actually show the output, and say costs, and we want to put this all together, we could say something like house, we could say car, and we can say phone. And you can see it shows us the cost of our house, the car, and the phone. Okay, I think this covers this tutorial on variables. I will see you in the next tutorial. Remember to subscribe and like, and bye bye.